So something crazy has changed in the AI space. Now it is truly possible to build your own internal AI tools at a fraction of the cost within a couple of hours, saving yourself and your business couple $100s per month per subscription. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 examples where I managed to replace a full SaaS product that I needed in my business. I built it within a couple of hours of just starting to vibe code this. And now I use this internal tool for myself without spending money on other people's product. A couple months ago, I thought this is not possible because you needed to invest a significant amount of time to have an app up and running. So in this video is not another vibe coding AI tool video. In this video, I'm going to show you real examples of how I replaced some internal tooling that now I use in my day-to-day business, which saved me so much money from paying for these SaaS subscriptions. So let's jump in. So the first product that I stopped paying for is Mentimeter. You're probably familiar with this product. It's an app that if you're doing a webinar, it allows you to have like an interactive surveys, which is really nice because I started doing webinars, teaching people live, and sometimes it's nice to just show them a QR code and let them vote on certain things. I found this product and I was really happy with it. I was paying for subscription. Let's see the pricing. It wasn't too expensive, like $14 per month per presenter. But if you have a team of couple people, like this kind of add up. And originally I started with the free one, and there was a limitation that is only to 50 participants. And I was starting to get annoyed that, okay, seems to be a very simple app to replicate with AI. And this was the most surprising thing because I managed to replicate this whole app, well, at least the functionality that I needed, the basic one that is included here, within literally 2 hours of vibe coding this. And I have now a running app. Let's have a look. So I vibe coded this whole thing with Lovable. I don't even pay for them actually because I'm cheap ass. And only with the free version, I managed to do this within 2 hours. And I even did it with like a sign in. So you need to sign in to get inside. Let's actually go through the website to have a look at it. So after you log in, I think even you right now can also log in. I'm not going to show you the URL so you don't use my servers, but basically you just create a session, you go inside, you create your questions, someone can scan the QR code, and then it can shows basically the options, the cloud, all the couple functionalities that I need inside my webinar are now basically replicated. I pay $0 for this because Lovable hosted for me. By the way, I don't work with Lovable, so you can also use many other stuff out there. I do not mind. However, with Lovable, they made it really seamless because you don't need to do anything. Let me just show you something. After you're done with the app, like after you tell the AI what you want, literally with one click of publish, I was having it up and running. That's why I managed to do it within 2 hours. Usually I need to connect it to the cloud with my domain, etc. So it takes a little bit of like development knowledge, but with Lovable, 2 hours. This is basically the prompt. Create me a website that does survey from webinars where people basically scan a QR code that answers a question. One question, if they need to write a text, another shows a cloud of words. So basically just describing what this other app was doing. And I also said like, do some gradients. I think it doesn't look so pretty. Maybe I'm going to improve it a little bit, but it's up and running. And I am going to be testing it in the next webinar absolutely for free. Very, very happy with this. And there's no restriction on how many participants should or can work with this. Now, the second app that I managed to replace, which was much more expensive, which was this Trackio. Because I create content on YouTube, I want to track where are my customers coming from. So for example, if you're watching this video and you end up clicking on some of my links because you want to work with me, etc., I want to know from which video someone booked an appointment with me. Right now, most YouTubers are currently blind on this, and this product promises to solve this. As you see here, like how I build a 10K business, it would show you that this video generated you 4 calls, and let's say you sell something for, I don't know, 1,000 or something, then the total revenue for this video is 5K, which is really nice to see as a content creator. I was really happy with this, and I even wanted to book a demo call, but I look into the price. Right now the price is no longer here because it was pretty expensive, and now he put it behind the paywall. So if you Google around, you can still see some areas where the original price was there. So I found the price was about $300 a month, and I really wanted this as well, but I was like, I don't want to spend $300 a month just yet, because I think I can solve this also by my own cloud code. So basically, after a lot of back and forward, I managed to create this analytics dashboard. This took me about 3 days of, not full days of work, but 3 days of maybe 3 hours per day, purely just cloud code. So no Lovable, nothing. The most difficult part was creating these tracking links. That was like a little bit maybe annoying to understand how that works, because this is also marketing. So I had a gap in that knowledge. But now I have basically a dashboard that tracks everything. So I see how many people have visited my funnels, how many people converted, how many people booked a phone call, and some conversions. Still the revenue, I haven't figured out how to connect it, because sometimes I send people invoices from my bank, etc. So it's not connected to the dashboard. So this will always, but maybe with time I'll figure out how to connect this to Stripe or something like this. But the most important feature now that I managed to do is this. So when I launch the dashboard, now everything tracks. So from which video, for example, this one, stop selling AI by the hour. So this is an actual video that I produced, which is this, and it then shows how many visitors it got. So I created a webinar and it sent 8 people to the webinar, nobody converted, but it's a good insight to see. And now I can compare the different videos and see which one works better for the target audience that I'm trying to close. So the goal here, this was a little bit more sensitive. It has some sensitive data. I have to connect to YouTube API. So there was a little bit back and forward. That's why it took much longer, but now it's saving me $300 a month. And this I am hosting alongside my website, so it doesn't cost me anything extra. The database, I'm also using Supabase, so also for free. And this is now running entirely basically for free, and I didn't pay anything extra than my Cloud Code subscription, which I was paying anyway. So it was a total win for me. If I would pay myself my hourly rate, then this would have been maybe expensive, but it would have paid itself back within a couple of months of saving that money with the subscription. So it always go back to the same argument. How quickly do you want to use it, but what is the long-term saving? So if you pay someone to do this internally for you, or you do it yourself, then in the beginning there's an upfront investment and then it gets cheaper. Now the last thing that I managed to vibe code is this really annoying problem that I'm sure every business owner has, which is getting your invoices. So for example, as you guys know, I have a school community, and if I want to get my invoices from the school community, so as you guys know, I have a school community, and if I want to get my invoices, I have to go basically here and go to the payment history and then download all these PDFs and then add them to my bookkeeping, which is really annoying because I have to do this every month. And sometimes I was paying for other communities, for coaching, etc. So it was getting a lot. The same thing for payouts. So all the money that you receive, they send it to you on a weekly basis. So it was just such an annoying process of taking these invoices and putting them in my bookkeeping account. So I wanted to automate this. And the same thing for Upwork. I hired a lot of freelancers, developers, editors, etc. So the same thing happens there. And it got so annoying that I looked for a software that you can basically just add school, and then it has a school integration that downloads these. So I was like, okay, that's great. I will pay just for the price. However, it had many missing features from this, which was also annoying. So for school, it only downloaded the invoices, but not the payouts. So I had to message their customer support, and I was like, guys, can you fix this, please? And I got no response, of course. And I got really annoyed, so I decided to do my own thing. So then I decided to create my own thing with Cloud, but this one is not even it's more like actual automations that runs on a sequence inside my computer. So I have one for school, where is it? This one. So school finance sync, and Upwork Seep Sync. So it's actual code. So you see here, there's a lot of Python code that scrolls the website. It looks like actual human typing on things and then extracting these invoices. And then it puts them all for me here in the download. So it downloads them and then pushes them to Google Drive. And from my Google Drive, I have another integration that my bank is integrated with it and then matches the receipts to the actual invoices. So this took also about 1 day of work to set both of these up. And after I saw that this thing actually works, so for school, you can see here, you have the invoices and you have the payouts. I was so happy, and I was like, oh, let me see what else I can do with school. So it turned out I can also automate posting. And as you know, on school, there is no schedule posting functionality, so I cannot schedule anything. So for example, if I want to invite people to these events where we have the weekly coaching or we have the monthly plan, I have to post a reminder manually. And now I can do this with this automation. So it posts it for me automatically to remind the people to come to these events, which is really nice. So if you want to do something like that, what is it that you would need? I would say you just need a Cloud Code license, and you can just explain what is it that you're trying to achieve. And Cloud Code would tell you exactly what you need. For example, it told me I need this environment variables, so the passwords, the usernames, usually you add them here. Make sure not to push this anywhere or like hide this from pushing it to GitHub if you have your repository on GitHub. But initially it's going to be writing code. And if you don't understand how the code works, then I understand, yes, it might be a little bit intimidating for you to understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, you can just ask Cloud Code, hey, what is happening? How to keep this safe. And when I was done, I even made Cloud Code do an audit. So I asked it, can you check if there's anything leaking, like any sensitive information? And then it tells you what to hide and what not to hide and what to do. So recently it's becoming really, really smart about things that you should be doing and you shouldn't be doing, which is really good. So if you're unfamiliar with this, this is also something called Visual Studio Code. So it's just a way that you can write code and interact with Cloud Code. So you can basically interact with it here. And I have, yeah, you see here I was creating the automation. So of course, this whole thing now runs locally at my computer. If I want to have it somewhere in the cloud, I would have to deploy this to the cloud. But at the moment, it's not necessary. This is more than enough. It's run on an automated schedule. Let's actually ask Cloud Code and see. So I ask it, what is the schedule for running the automations? It says the course automation has no schedule, which is a automation that I created that it can automatically create courses for me inside of school, which is pretty. But the auto poster, for example, on Tuesday at 4:30, I have another one, the monthly reflection, also at 10 a.m. And the school sync and the upcourse sync happens on Thursday and Wednesday, which is really cool. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you want to build a tool that is relatively simple and you want to do it with a couple of hours, maybe 2 to 3, make sure to use Lovable. I think it's really quick. You don't need to complicate yourself with using Cloud Code, etc., especially if you don't have any integrations. Like you need a simple app like this one where you know how the people's gonna interact with it, and it's like a simple QR code, etc. Literally 2 hours, it's all done, up and ready, and you can use it. It will of course show maybe like a Lovable logo, or if you pay for Lovable, you can also remove this so people don't know you did it with Lovable. But you can do this all for free and then start using it, and you have built yourself an internal automation. Just make sure to add these sign in and sign out so people cannot just log in like that automatically. Or if you want to build more complicated dashboards like this one, which is integrated with your YouTube, integrated with your other stuff, then make sure to use Cloud Code. Ask it to see what are the stuff that you need to do, what are the credentials that you need, and then you can basically build this. And I promise you, you can have all of these things up and ready with very, very minimal capital investment if you can build this yourself. If you cannot build this yourself and need to pay a developer, then all of this is just a one-time investment and you can save up so much money down the line, which is basically what I did here. Even if I would have paid myself to build this, I'm still now saving money, a couple months of using this. And analytics dashboards like this really show you what is working, what is not working, and help you even build better copy. For example, here 1.5, I need to increase this. The webinar is definitely working, so 50% people entering. It just gives you better insights about your business. So also dashboards are important and you can build them quickly with Cloud Code. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The main point is now it is really possible that you can build internal tools with extraordinarily quick time, and you can use it with your employees or for yourself, provide you analytics about your business, provide you many different things about your business that previously was inaccessible to us. So don't feel afraid of using these AI toolings. Experiment with them, see how quickly you can replace some tools that you're paying now monthly subscription for, and maybe you can build a feature of two that is not available in these subscriptions, and all of a sudden now you have an app that is super tailored to yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful, make sure to give me a like or a comment of what is the last tool that you have built for your business and how much money have you saved by building your own internal tool. And if you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.